Eli threw his toy plane into the air, but it flew into a cave halfway up the mountain. Despite his friends warning him that the cave was a forbidden area of the tribe, Eli ventured into it alone to search for his toy. Inside, he accidentally broke the plane. Suddenly, a large hand grabbed his wrist from the darkness. In his panic, Eli fled, leaving his watch behind in the cave, unaware of the terrifying entity he had encountered. Eli's parents, Joel and his wife Candice, were devout believers. They had given up their stable life in the city and moved to a remote indigenous tribe to assist a priest in spreading the gospel. They also helped establish schools and a clinic, earning the respect of the local tribe. One evening, Candice found Eli because the next day was his baptism day. In the process, she noticed Eli's watch was missing. Eli falsely claimed he had left it at home. On his way back, Eli noticed that the stones on the path appeared deliberately arranged, leading up to the eerie forbidden cave. Determined to retrieve his watch, he entered the cave once more. Along the way, he saw masks, clay figurines, and the bodies of 5 guinea pigs. Suddenly, a few scorpions crawled onto his feet. When Eli turned to run, he twisted his ankle. The next day, Candice discovered Eli was missing. From his friend Raul, they learned that Eli had gone to the forbidden cave. Candice went to the cave entrance and called out a few times. When preparing to enter, she encountered Will, the tribe's shaman. Will informed her that Eli was not there and led her to a grass hut at the mountain's peak, where Eli was found. On their way down, they met an elderly woman at the riverbank. She lent her cane to the injured Eli, but upon touching him, she recoiled in fear as if seeing the devil himself. Candice, concerned, tried to approach, but the elderly woman sat down, shouting for them to leave. Seeing her panic and knowing it was Eli's baptism day, Candice didn't linger. She hurried Eli to the church for the ceremony. During the ceremony, Candice saw a scorpion crawl onto Eli's head. She felt a nosebleed, but when she touched her face, there was nothing. After the ceremony, Candice grew uneasy when she looked at the old woman's cane. Soon after, the body of the woman who had lent Eli her cane was found in the river. That night, Candice found Eli lying on the grass, pale. Joel carried him to the bathtub, where Eli suddenly convulsed, and the shower head began pouring mud. The next day, during prayer, Candice saw Eli's eyes leaking black liquid and scorpions crawling out of his mouth. After the shock, everything seemed to return to normal. Candice called for the priest to examine Eli, but the priest found no pulse or temperature. Eli suddenly grabbed the priest's hand. Suspecting her son was possessed by a demon, Candice asked the priest to perform an exorcism. The priest began the ritual, but as he recited the exorcism creed, the mirror on the wall shattered. Black veins appeared on Eli's body. After a struggle, Eli returned to normal, and the priest declared the demon had departed. At this moment, Will delivered herbs to ease their pain. Though Candice didn't believe in shamanism, she accepted them. That evening, the priest was stung by a scorpion, which he immediately crushed. However, the poison suddenly took effect. Turning around, he saw Eli, wearing a terrifying mask and holding the whip the priest used during confession. The next day, a female believer came to knock on the door, only to find the priest dead. Candice soon discovered that the church had been destroyed in a fire. She went to find Will, who revealed that Eli was possessed by Supai, the death god of the tribe. Supai existed by feeding on human desires. Will then led them to the cave, bringing along several guinea pigs. In the eyes of the indigenous people, the death god could not be challenged, only bargained with. Will performed a shamanic ritual to communicate with Supai. During the ritual, Supai broke free and screamed at the shaman. Will responded in kind, and as he emitted a blinding white light, Supai transported them into an illusionary space. There, they witnessed the tribe's members dying from their faith. Supai used human nature and desires to weaken Will's power. Returning to reality, Supai seized the opportunity to possess Will. Will killed his own apprentice and drew a dagger to kill Candice and Eli. Just then, Will's consciousness suddenly returned. Realizing he could not defeat Supai, he took his own life. After Will's death, Supai returned to Eli's body. When Eli raised a stone to strike Candice, Candice offered Supai a trade, with Eli's friend as the chosen sacrifice. After a scream from Eli's friend, Eli was freed from Supai's control. Candice and her family seized the opportunity to leave the indigenous tribe by boat. The faith they had was nothing more than a seed of evil planted on another's land.